How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully, just having a lovely day. So we got Bengals, we got Jaguars. It's gonna be a big football game. Circled it on the schedule to start the season. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, running college football there for a few years, and they come into the National Football League. Trevor Lawrence a little slower than Burrow, but Trevor Lawrence figuring things out, and he is becoming a guy in this league. All of a sudden, though, Joe Burrow goes down with the wrist injury. Jake Browning now starting for the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals look like a completely different football team, as you would expect when you lose an MVP caliber quarterback. And they're going to enter this football game at Jacksonville. They got a lot on their hands here. Now, that's the Bengals football. We got to remember the Bengals football team that was play out 2 straight seasons in the AFC Championship game. They play very championship-style defense. They make the turnovers. They make the big plays when they need to. We've seen it last week, even in the loss where the offense struggled against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd imagine we see it early in this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it's different. It's a lot different without Joe Burrow under center. And I think that we're going to see how we're going to really see, because again, last week, defense played great. I mean, they played great, bend but don't break defense. They allowed 400 yards to the Pittsburgh Steelers for the first time in 59 games. The Steelers put up 400 yards on offense. But at the end of the day, they had 16 points to show for it. And that's something the Bengals defense has done really well under Lou Anarumo is they might give up a bunch of yards, but they're gonna hold you to field goals. They're gonna force turnovers. They're gonna keep the offense in the game, essentially here. Keep the team in the game. That being said, they're going to enter this game, again, a tall task, because now you're one game in. Now you're one game in saying, okay, this offense is struggling. And it does take a toll on the defense. You know, we're starting to see it on the Jets later in the season now. It was dominating teams. The defense was playing a lot of confidence. It was winning up games early in the season. But, you know, once you get further in that season, you just see how anemic the offense can be. It really takes a toll on an elite defense. And the Bengals defense obviously isn't anywhere on the New York Jets level. They're a solid, again, a championship contender defense, but I feel like a Jets defense, they're like a 49ers defense. They can change the game. They can dictate the game in a big way, and they can win games. We've seen the Bengals win games, but not to just be clear. We've seen the Bengals win games defensively, but just not to that extreme, I think. And now you wonder going into this game, what happens if the Bengals offense starts out slow? Will the defense be able to hold on to that and hold on to that for how long? Because they're going to go up against Trevor Lawrence, Evan Ingram, Travis, a really good Jacksonville Jaguars team. And the Bengals, the matchup obviously going to be that Evan Ingram matchup. The Bengals, how they've been doing against the tight ends, not the greatest this season. And if any of these receivers are going to be open down deep, the secondary is still figuring things out. I think we're going to continue to see more and more of these young guys in the secondary, because we're getting to that point in the year. Now the Bengals 5-6. You know, you want to see these young guys play, though, if you're a Bengals fan, because you think they got a lot of potential. They got to get some reps and give them some chance to play some Lord. Perfect opportunity, really, right now for them to kind of go through some growing pains and retool and be refocused and be ready to play and ready to rock and roll. If the Bengals continue to lose this season and need to just kind of restart next season. Nonetheless, what I want to see how the Cincinnati Bengals is, they got to run the football. They got to run the football if they want to win this football game. We've seen a couple games. Joe Mixon, he's starting to look a lot better. The offensive line is starting to block better. Now, last game, 8 carries. 8 carries for 16 yards. A very small sample size. An interesting play calling strategy by Zach Taylor to implement a quarterback that's never started a game in the NFL in a regular season and go up against a Steelers team that, again, historically has not been good offensively. So you had the ability to run the football, and they just kind of said, we don't want to do that. So it'll be interesting from that dynamic to see what kind of direction the Bengals go moving forward here, because, you know, typically you ease your quarterback in, but you can't really throw him out there any more than the Bengals did last week. So they'll be prepared for that. And the thing with the run game this week is Jacksonville is really good against run. Top 5 run defense in the league right now. And we're going to have to see Jake Browning go out there and make some plays, I think. I think matchup-wise, you know, the Bengals have a tough time with this one. The personnel on offense, great. The personnel on defense is going to match up. Josh Allen probably have a big game here for him on the defensive side of the football. Put some pressure in the face of Jake Browning. Maybe we see Jake Browning make a mistake or two. Maybe not. Maybe cleans things up. Again, I liked what I seen out of Jake Browning last week. For a backup quarterback, good to remember backup quarterback. If the guy was a top 15 quarterback in the league, he wouldn't be a backup. But I thought he looked pretty solid. He had 1 or 2 kind of iffy throws. That was going to happen. But for a guy that kind of just got thrown in there, hasn't played before, and you go up against a tough Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush, and you go out there and throw for complete 73% of passes, 227 through the air. He had a great game. And we'll see if he grows from that. You know, that's something that could very much happen here. And I hope it does. I really hope it. I would love to see, you know, nothing more than to see this guy succeed in the NFL. Ultimately, I'm going to look at this football game, and I'm really looking at the Bengals defense. They have to play out of their minds. And I'm having a tough time seeing it because it is tough. It's really tough in this league to not get worn down defensively if your offense is struggling. The Bengals offense kind of has to get things figured out. And Zach Taylor just, quite frankly, he hasn't proven he can game plan and play call without Joe Burrow kind of making up for whatever he does. We've seen it every time Burrows went down, even when he had Andy Dalton, he struggled to put up points. And until we see that, I just have a hard time believing the Bengals can find ways to win football games, especially against Jacksonville, a team that is competing for the number 1 seed and playing some of the best ball in football. This is a team, remember, last season, they gave the Chiefs all they could handle in the playoffs. And they've kind of ran with that since. A heck of a turnaround for the Jaguars over these last couple of seasons. And I tell you what, I'm kind of rooting for them. Not against the Bengals, but I'm kind of rooting for them. I think they're going to win this football game, though. I think the Jags are going to win this football game. It's going to be about 27. Probably about 13. It's going to be a tough one for the Bengals. But hey, next week, retool, refocus. Love y'all's thoughts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.